Hello friends, today I will discuss the cross field theory of synchronous motor. Before I discuss that, let me consider the construction of the synchronous motor and what is the synchronous speed, what is the rotor speed, then what is the speed regulation, then we go to the cross field theory. So here, if you look at the construction of the three-phase induction motor, it appears like this. This is the three-phase stator winding like this. Several coils are placed in these slots. These slots belongs to the stator and it is a three-phase winding. And the three-phase winding outer terminals will be connected to the three-phase AC supply like this, and it will have a rotor. So here it is taken salient pole rotor, and this salient pole rotor carries a winding, and that winding we call as rotor field winding, and that field winding is connected to a separate DC supply. Then this is the stator winding. When the three-phase AC supply is given to the three-phase synchronous motor stator, then a rotating magnetic field will develop in this air gap, and that rotating magnetic field speed is called the synchronous speed, and that speed depends upon the number of poles on the stator and the supply frequency. That is, we can calculate what is the synchronous speed of the synchronous motor, that is 120 into F divided by P. Here Ns is the synchronous speed symbol and F is the supply frequency, AC supply frequency, and the P is the number of poles on the stator. Remember, this is the speed of the magnetic field produced by the stator winding current. And in the synchronous motor, the rotor speed under running conditions is equal to the stator magnetic field speed, that is synchronous speed. If we calculate the speed regulation for this synchronous motor, we get the formula like this. Speed regulation is equal to stator magnetic field speed, that is also called synchronous speed, minus rotor speed represented by small n divided by ns into 100 will give the speed regulation. This is the formula. So when it comes to the synchronous motor speed means here rotor speed is called the motor speed. So if the rotor speed n is equal to synchronous speed, that is ns, then this speed regulation formula will become like this. Speed regulation is equal to ns minus ns divided by ns into 100. So we get speed regulation for the synchronous motor is equal to 0. So now let us move to the what is cross field theory. So to understand this cross field theory of the synchronous motor, so we have to consider two stages. One is when the rotor is under stationary condition. When the rotor is given external rotation, that is when it is rotating, what is going to happen to the magnetic fields or flux produced by the stator and the rotor. So if you look at this first case, when the rotor is stationary, that is, this is stationary, this is called the rotor, and it will have the winding. And if that rotor is stationary and the three-phase AC supply is given to the stator of the three-phase synchronous motor, then a three-phase rotating magnetic field or simply a rotating magnetic field is produced, and that revolves in the air gap between the stator and the rotor. Under stationary condition of the rotor, if you look at this windings polarity or current polarity, so for stator 1, 2, 3, the current is entering into the paper, whereas 1 dash, 2 dash, 3 dash are the currents coming out of the paper. So because this is rotating magnetic field and it is interacting with the rotor conductors, it produces opposite polarity currents in the rotor winding. That is, here we get cross, here also cross, here also cross. Whereas here we get the dot, dot, dot. So whereas stator winding currents are cross. Now, applying the Fleming's right hand thumb rule, so look at the currents flowing in the rotor winding and the stator windings. So here in the stator winding 1, 2, 3, current is entering into the board or paper, whereas current is coming out of the board at 1 dash, 2 dash, 3 dash like this. Current entering into the board, we treat that as into, whereas the current coming out of the board, we treat that as dots like this. Similarly, in the rotor winding also, so these three windings carrying the current into the blackboard, whereas the currents flowing here are coming out of the board, and whereas these are the neutral points, so no current flows. And now apply the right hand thumb rule or curl rule first to the stator and then to the rotor. So this is the stator field current direction. So if the current entering into these points means the fingers has to go inside the board and then curl it, that is they have to come out through these points like this. Then the thumb indicates the direction of the flux produced by the stator currents, that is from left to right like this, that we are representing here as phi s. Similarly, apply the right hand thumb rule to the rotor conductors also like this. So if you look at this, the currents are flowing into the blackboard and then and the curl, the fingers are coming out of the board like this, that is like this. Then the thumb indicates the direction of the flux produced by the rotor currents, and that is like this. So that we are representing here with phi r. So when we plot that vectors phi s and phi r means the flux produced by the rotor current and the stator currents, we find like this. This is the phi s and whereas this is phi r. And they are opposite to each other, means they are at 180 degrees. So the net flux available in the rotor is equal to 0. So the rotor do not rotate. So this happens when the rotor is at stationary. That means the synchronous motor is not self-starting. So it has to be given a movement to the rotor by external means. Suppose we have given a rotation to the rotor by external means in the clockwise direction like this. In that case, let us say the currents flowing in the rotor conductors are like this. So here this conductor carrying into the board, whereas these conductors carrying currents out of the board. So whereas the stator currents remains same like this 1, 2, 3, 1 dash, 2 dash, 3 dash. Once we apply the right hand thumb rule to the stator currents, then we get the stator flux like this. So stator currents are entering into the blackboard here and then coming out here, means so insert the fingers into this blackboard and then curl them, let the fingers come out from this, so like this. Then the thumb indicates the direction of the flux produced by the stator currents represented by phi s like this. Similarly, apply the thumb rule to the rotor currents also. So when we apply the rotor currents, the thumb rule to this rotor currents, so the fingers goes into the blackboard here and then the fingers comes out of the blackboard. Then the thumb indicates downwards, that is the direction of the flux produced by the rotor conductors, and that we represent as phi r. And if you look at this phi s and phi r, the angle between them is 90 degrees. That we can draw like this. This is phi s and this is phi r, and they are perpendicular to each other. So this theory is called the cross field theory. Means they are perpendicular to each other. And the torque developed on the rotor is nothing but the product of the stator flux and rotor flux and the sine of the angle between these two fluxes. When they are in right angles, so we get phi s phi r into sine 90, means we get maximum torque produced. As the load increases on the rotor, so there will not be 90 degrees, it will be some less angle. So let the angle between the stator flux and the rotor flux is theta, like this. This is phi s and this is phi r. The angle between those two fluxes is theta. In that case, we can calculate what is the torque developed in the motor of the synchronous motor rotor is nothing but T is equal to phi s phi r sine theta. So the maximum torque occurs at theta is equal to 90 degrees. So now once the torque is produced in the rotor starts rotating with the synchronous speed, that is ns. So the synchronous motor speed regulation, as I said earlier, will become 0. So let me summarize here this cross-field theory, that the synchronous motor means it will have a three-phase AC supply connected to the stator winding, and the stator current produces a rotating magnetic field whose speed is synchronous speed, and it is represented or it is calculated with the help of formula called 120F by P, where F is supply frequency whereas P is number of poles on the stator. And we have seen when the rotor is at stationary what happens to the net flux, and we have seen when the the stator flux and the rotor flux under running conditions have the angle of 90 degrees. What happens to the torque produced in the motor? We have seen similarly when the load increases on the rotor, then the angle between the stator flux and the rotor flux is theta, and that rotor torque can be calculated using phi s and phi r sine theta.